You know, there's something I've noticed after talking to so many wonderful women over 60. Many of them share a quiet frustration they don't always talk about. It's not about the grand, dramatic moments in marriage, but the little things that pile up over the years. The way he leaves his socks on the floor again, or how he tunes out when she's talking about her day. It's not that they don't love their husbands. They do. But there's this undercurrent of resentment that's hard to ignore. Maybe you've felt it too. That sigh when he interrupts you mid-sentence, or the way your chest tightens when he assumes you'll handle all the household chores without even asking. It's not about one big fight. It's about years of small moments that leave you feeling unseen, unheard, or worse, taken for granted. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay this way. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 common reasons women resent their husbands as they age, and more importantly, how to fix them. Because love shouldn't fade with time. It should grow deeper, richer, and more fulfilling. Now let's start with the first reason, and this one might surprise you. 1. He stopped listening, and she stopped feeling valued. Remember when you were first dating? How he'd hang on your every word, asking questions, laughing at your stories. Fast forward a few decades, and now it feels like you're talking to a brick wall. He nods along while scrolling through the news on his phone, or worse, he cuts you off to talk about his day instead. It's not that he doesn't care, it's that he's fallen into the trap of familiarity. He assumes he already knows what you're going to say, so he stops truly listening. And over time, that erodes something precious, your sense of being valued. So how do you fix it? Start small. The next time he interrupts, gently say, "I wasn't finished. Can I finish my thought?" No anger, no blame, just a simple reminder. And if he's distracted, try this. "I'd really love your full attention for a minute. This is important to me. Most men want to make their wives happy. They just need a gentle nudge to remember how." 2. The mental load is still all on her. Even if he helps around the house, there's a good chance you're still the one keeping track of everything. The doctor's appointments, the grandkids' birthdays, whether there's enough milk for the morning coffee. It's exhausting, and over time, it breeds resentment because it feels like you're the manager of the household, not an equal partner. Here's the thing. Most men don't intend to leave the mental load to their wives. They just don't realize how much invisible work goes into keeping a home running. So instead of silently fuming, try this. Sit down together and make a list of all the tasks that keep your household going. Yes, all of them. Then divide them up, not just the chores, but the remembering. Maybe he takes over managing the grocery list, or he's in charge of scheduling car maintenance. When both partners share the mental load, it lifts a huge weight, and resentment starts to fade. Now, these first 2 reasons are just the beginning. There are more layers to this, like how unexpressed expectations can quietly poison a marriage, or why intimacy changes as we age, and what to do about it. But before we dive into those, I want you to think about something. Which of these resonates with you the most? Are there little resentments you've been carrying that you haven't voiced? Because the first step to fixing anything is recognizing it, and you're already doing that. Let's keep going, because the best years of your marriage could still be ahead. You know, one of the biggest surprises about growing older together is realizing how much unspoken expectations can shape a marriage. Think about it. How many times have you thought, "He should just know what I need"? Or, "Why do I always have to ask?" It's not that our husbands are ignoring us on purpose. It's that somewhere along the way, we stop telling them what we truly want, assuming they'd figure it out. And when they don't, that's when resentment starts to creep in. So let's talk about the next 2 reasons, because once you see them clearly, you can start to make real changes. 3. Unexpressed expectations turn into quiet resentment. Here's a scenario you might recognize. You've had a long day, and all you want is for him to notice how tired you are and offer to help, maybe make dinner or clean up without being asked. But he doesn't. Instead, he settles into his chair, flips on the TV, and you're left thinking, "Why do I always have to spell it out?" Sound familiar? The truth is, men aren't mind readers. What feels obvious to us might not even cross their radar, and the longer we go without expressing our needs, the more we build up silent frustration, until one day, it spills over in a way that surprises both of us. The fix? Start small. Instead of waiting for him to guess, try saying something like, "I've had a tough day. Would you mind handling dinner tonight?" Or, "I'd really love it if you'd surprise me with a little help around the house sometimes." It might feel awkward at first, but here's the thing. Most husbands want to make us happy. They just need clear, kind guidance on how to do it. And when we speak up before resentment sets in, we give our marriages a chance to grow stronger. 4. Intimacy changes, and no one's talking about it. Now let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: how intimacy evolves as we age. Physical touch, emotional closeness, even just holding hands. It all shifts over time, and if we're not careful, those changes can leave one partner feeling lonely or unwanted. Maybe you've noticed that he doesn't reach for your hand as much as he used to. Or perhaps sex isn't as frequent as it once was, and you're not sure how to bring it up without hurting his feelings. On the flip side, maybe you're the one who's less interested these days, and you worry he'll take it personally. Here's the truth. Intimacy does change with age, but that doesn't mean it has to disappear. The key is to talk about it openly, without blame or shame. Try saying something like, "I miss how close we used to be. Can we find new ways to connect?" Or, "I know things are different now, but I still love feeling close to you." Sometimes just starting the conversation is enough to reignite that spark. And remember, intimacy isn't just about physical touch. It's about laughter, shared memories, and the quiet moments when you feel truly seen by the person you love. Maybe it's cooking together, taking an evening walk, or simply sitting side by side, enjoying the silence. Those moments matter just as much. Now, we've covered a lot so far: unspoken expectations, the mental load, listening, and intimacy. But there are still 2 more reasons resentment can build, and they're just as important. One has to do with how we handle conflicts or avoid them, and the other is about something deeper: the fear of growing old alone, even when we're still together. But before we get into those, I want you to think about this. Which of these points hit home for you? Have you been holding back from expressing what you really need? Or maybe you've noticed that closeness has slipped away without either of you realizing it. Whatever it is, know this: it's never too late to turn things around. Let's keep going, because the best part is yet to come. You know, one of the most beautiful things about a long marriage is the history you share, the inside jokes, the memories, the way you can communicate with just a look. But sometimes that very history can become a stumbling block. We get so used to our patterns, how we argue, how we withdraw, how we navigate the years together, that we forget we still have the power to change them. And that brings us to the last 2 reasons resentment can build, and more importantly, how to heal them. 5. Avoiding conflict instead of resolving it. How many times have you bitten your tongue to keep the peace? Maybe he said something that hurt your feelings, or you disagreed about money, the kids, or how to spend your retirement, but instead of addressing it, you let it slide. After all, at this stage of life, who wants to start a fight? But here's the problem. Every time we avoid a difficult conversation, resentment grows a little stronger. It's like a pebble in your shoe. Ignore it long enough, and soon you're limping. The fix? Start seeing conflict not as something to fear, but as a way to deepen your connection. Next time something bothers you, try saying, "I want to talk about something, and I'd love for us to understand each other better." Keep your tone gentle. Focus on how you feel, rather than what he did wrong, and give him space to respond. You might be surprised at how willing he is to meet you halfway when he knows it's safe to talk honestly. 6. The fear of facing aging alone, even while together. This one's a little harder to admit, but it's real. As we age, we start thinking about the years ahead in a way we never did before. And sometimes, even with our husband right beside us, we feel a quiet loneliness. A fear that we'll end up more like caretakers than partners, or that we'll navigate the challenges of aging without true companionship. Maybe you've noticed him pulling away, burying himself in hobbies or the TV, while you long for more shared experiences. Or perhaps you've both fallen into routines that leave you feeling more like roommates than soulmates. The solution? Start creating new connections now. Plan a small adventure together, even if it's just trying a new restaurant or taking a class. Reminisce about your favorite memories, then make a list of new ones you'd like to create. And most importantly, talk about the future together. Ask, How do we want these next years to look? You might discover he's been feeling the same way, and that's where the real magic begins. So let's take a step back. We've talked about listening, sharing the mental load, speaking up about our needs, nurturing intimacy, facing conflict with courage, and choosing connection over loneliness. That's a lot, but here's the beautiful part. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Start with one small change. Maybe today you'll ask for help instead of silently resenting. Or perhaps you'll reach for his hand and say, "I love doing life with you." Because here's the truth. Marriage isn't about perfection. It's about showing up again and again with kindness and the willingness to grow. And if you're watching this, you're already doing the work. That's something to be proud of. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these resonated most? Have you found other ways to reconnect with your husband? Share your stories in the comments. Your wisdom might inspire someone else. And if this video helped you, hit that like button and subscribe for more conversations like this, because life after 60. It's not about slowing down. It's about loving deeper, living fuller, and making every moment count. Here's to your love story and the best chapters yet to come. Do subscribe to keep the channel growing.